the state level, I have read comments in the newspaper that leaders of the General Assembly want to revisit changes in Ohio election law. If they do, I will have priorities, and I'm sure that the Ohio Association of Elections officials will too. I can tell you my priorities have not changed. In fact, what we went through in 2012 reinforced the need for several changes I have long advocated for. These include online voter registration. It will save money and will make it more secure than the current paper system. This will improve our election system if we get the authority and law to do it. Online absentee ballot requests, another modernization that we can use to reduce costs and improve service. Uniform days and hours of operation. Very important. To give voters equal access to voting opportunities is the right and fair thing to do. Provisional ballot updates and improvements to the process to make it as simple and secure as we possibly can. And we hope to build, continue to build on the progress that we made, increasing the number of legally cast ballots that were counted in this past election. For reasonable people, there is nothing controversial here. It represents steady progress, but it's important that we get it done. You can count on the fact that we will also want to hear what you have to say. We would like to add your thoughts to the list, and we look forward to a good working relationship on these legislative matters. Now I want to move on to one last topic of substance that I think is very important and that I have great optimism about in 2013. I think 2013 will be a historical year as it relates to this in Ohio elections. Now, I'm sure that some of you are wondering, it's an off year. There are no federal candidate elections. There are no statewide candidate elections. What big deal could he possibly be talking about as it relates to elections? Well, the reason for my anticipation and excitement simply is that I believe 2013 is going to be the year that we finally get a bipartisan redistricting resolution passed in Ohio. Really do. As many of you know, I've been working on this reform since 2005 and was able to pass a reform through the Ohio Senate on this in 2009. Momentum for redistricting reform is growing, with the Senate passing a plan very similar to the one that I've been advocating for, and doing so on a bipartisan vote in December of 2012. That was a big deal. All right? But frankly, maybe even a bigger deal is the fact that incoming Senate President Keith Faber recently said that he would make redistricting reform a priority of the Ohio Senate. This is important when you hear that from a leader of a legislative body, and I plan to do all I can to help them pass a plan as soon as possible. And the reason this reform, I believe, would be historic is because it would change our democracy in a very fundamental way. It would require compact districts that bring people closer to their representatives and their representatives closer to their constituents, making political leaders more accountable for their actions in the legislature and in Congress. It will also make elections truly competitive, making our legislative bodies more accountable and giving the voters the real opportunity to change who and which party leads these bodies from election cycle to election. Simply stated, it is the most important reform in helping people reclaim their democracy from partisan interests. That's why I believe it will happen. That's why I hope it will happen. I do have just a couple closing thoughts, and that I look forward to. And I look forward, if we have time for questions, I will take questions, but I can happily move on too. I still believe, though, that Republicans and Democrats are capable of working together to accomplish meaningful work. I will do my best to be a positive voice and participant in this cause. With your professionalism and hard work, we overcame some of the most partisan forces in the nation's ultimate swing state, Ohio. And we delivered a good, fair election on November 6th that you can all be proud of. On behalf of all the Ohio voters, I say thank you for your efforts, and I look forward to a continued strong partnership with you and into this new year and beyond. Thank you.